Ford said, listen, you got to turn around and pay the workers enough so they could be able to buy a car. And, I think they call that economies of scale.
How about getting off your ass and getting a good job, a career, not a source of income? Because you want to know what they do in the cities for a source of income? They sell dope. Or they have a place to go for a couple hours so they get happy money. No, they should get careers. Not a source of income, careers, where they actually can get into a place that has benefits like health insurance, vacation time. That's the job that I always went for, not a part-time job where, I got money to, buy beer, buy dope, and put gas in mom and dad's car when I borrow it. No, you gotta force people to make better choices. You gotta force people to upgrade, because if you don't, they're gonna slide downhill. Remember what they say about the path of least resistance. AC3 GD.
I think things are a lot different today. Back in the day, everything was so open. All my family, everybody went through high school. Nobody went to college. I never even went to high school. Never did. But I was very energetic when I was a young kid. And when I got married, I always thought of the future. And I thought, what the hell? Get married. What am I going to do? Work at a gas station my whole life? I'm not going to make no money. So you look at things, common sense. I see people going around landscaping. I got a truck and hired a couple of guys and out landscaping every day, was paying the bills. I started a cleaning service, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, cleaning these nightclubs, and then selling cars, and then the cars took off, so I strictly got my dealer license and was doing the cars, but everything was open. My brother-in-law had a bar and liquor store. Any way I could think of make money when I was a young kid, this guy walked in there, he opened up this bar and liquor store, and I saw an arcade machine inside there. And kids were playing it. I said, hey, that's pretty cool. What are you doing? He says, it's 60-40. I think he gets 40% and the guy gets 60% of what he says. And that's what I do. I says, why don't you get rid of that old machine? I'll go to Betson. They were in Norway. I forget where they were. Betson. And they sold arcade machines. I said, I'll get you a brand new machine, the hottest machine that's out right now. Whatever it is, I'll buy it. I'll put it in here. We'll do 50-50. He said, deal. So I went, and Miss Pac-Man back then in the 80 or whatever it was, 79 or 80, was the hottest thing out. I went and bought the machine, put it in there. It was doing, believe it or not, the wife would tell you $400 a week. So you got 200, and I got 200. Plus I was selling the cars and doing the landscape. So, things were open. You just look, I looked at people and figured, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? Common sense. Just common sense and drive, though. If you don't have drive, you don't have nothing. A lot of drive. And back then, I think it was easy for a lot of people to make money. Now, if I was born, if I was like 19 getting married now, I don't know. I think I'd be a poor person.
Richie, fix your amp.
My amp? What the hell happened there?
I can barely hear you.
What the hell happened to my amp? Why did it do that? Let me check to see if I got a sequencer. What the hell?
I'm done.
Let me go look.
You're out of my book.
No sequencer.
One of the best speeches I've ever heard you, and you were
Why it went off? No sequencers. I don't know. But in any case, back then in the day, it was easy. So easy to make money back in the day. Now, like I said, if I was 19 and got married today, I'd probably be a poor person.
That's okay. Are you supposed to be rich? I taught my kids as long as I didn't see their faces on the wall at the post office, I didn't care what they did in life. They could be a doctor, a lawyer, or an Indian chief, or a janitor, as long as they were. My dad would always tell me, I don't care what you do, son. He said, just try to be the best at what you do. He always told me that, and I told the same thing to the kids. I'm not out after perfection. I want to see excellence. It doesn't matter if you're as good as Joe Schmo. Richie and I could have grew up next to one another. Richie had better cars, a better-looking girl, but it doesn't matter. It's what you do to improve yourself as you're, getting into life. And I don't think the parents are teaching the kids to push themselves. I really don't.
No, and I never had new cars, no, and I'm not a rich person. I mean, there's a lot of people out here that are rich, have good money and everything. No, I live comfortable. I could just live comfortable through my years and everything's fine, but I'm not a rich person, no. But it's, like I said, now, compared to years ago, I mean, even cars, and when you said a salesman, that's what they get you. Yeah, you're right. They try to sell you a car, but I didn't want to be that person. Selling cars and just too many things involved. You got to sit all day and wait for phone calls, show the car, they drive it, I'll let you know, and this and that. And a lot of wasted time. My time was precious when I was a young kid. So wholesale. You wholesale, as soon as you get the cars, you're moving them. They're wholesaled out. Now I got time then to do other things to make money, and I didn't have to sit on a car lot all day and just say, well, no customers today. I didn't sell much. I needed anything my time. Well, back then I was a little more sharper. Now you could tell. I mean, I'm an old coot.
Yeah, well, this is this is KB1RYO. It's bullshit. I just got off the phone with a girlfriend, and she says she's a doctor. She says if she had to do it all over again and get her doctorate degree, it'd cost her $70,000. And look. These people, they're not making enough to pay off $70,000 in student loan debt. That's what she says. She says nowadays, if she would have went to school, it'd cost her $70,000 at least to in college loans and all this kind of stuff to go to get a doctorate degree.
I just want to say it's going to cost you more than that in the future. You see how Elon Musk puts this chip in your brain? It's like you're on the internet. You're like, what? Wow. I said a long time ago, they're going to be able to implant chips in your brain. If you want to be a doctor, they're going to put everything you know about operation, every damn thing under the sun, you pay for that chip, and it's going to be more than $70,000. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, and you're going to have this instant education, but you're going to pay for it. I'm telling you, in the future, to where they're going with everything else, that's what's going to happen.
And let me tell you something. With the place she works, you have to have, you have to have all kind of background checks and drug tests and everything. So I'm trying to say that, you have to almost walk on water to be able to work any job with kids, any job. But the point is, it'll probably take a person the rest of their life to pay off their student loan. They don't make that much money.
And I'm going to pass it over to you, Norman, but also, this is so ancient. Judges, lawyers, people to defend themselves, to prove they're innocent, spend thousands and thousands of dollars, which the lawyer gets, and he may not prove them innocent. And and not only that, is it fair? Is it fair justice? You go in for something, a crime. Now, people on a jury, hey, they're all, people here that have their own individual minds and taste. They're up there and they're looking at a guy up there. That guy's got a lot of tattoos on him. He must be guilty. Look at this. Or someone says, look at his long hair. He's a wise guy. He's guilty. I mean, people will judge you. People do judge you. I don't care what anybody says, and they have their own opinion before even sometimes the case begins. To me, that's old hat from years ago. Get rid of all of that. Get rid of all of these damn lawyers and everything else. Artificial intelligence. You put all your information in there, and the other person puts all their information, and the machine, all right, if they want lawyers with them, fine, where it's not much money, and they feed all this intelligence into this computerized system, and it spits out guilty or not guilty. Because to me, that's more reliable than a jury that's sitting up there. There's a lot of juries that are on high-profile cases. One says, you know what? We were supposed to go on a trip next week. I don't want to be on this jury. I say, then they say they're guilty. And another person says, well, I don't think they're guilty because what the judge said, what the other lawyer said. Well, I don't want to argue with you. I got a thing next week. And when I was on a jury, the postman didn't want to be there, he says. And there were some people thought the woman should get a lot of money, and some people thought she shouldn't get a reward of money. And we're all debating. So finally they said, look, whatever you want us to do. I didn't think she deserved the money. They says, you know what? Whatever you want us to do, we'll go your way. What do we got to do? Sign the papers here. Everybody signed it. And I said, because they all didn't want to be there. What the hell justice was that?
I don't know. Well, Trump said, this is what Trump said. It came out of Trump's mouth. Trump said he never even seen that girl before.
And it was so many years ago. How do you do something? Like if something happens, wouldn't you report it then and now? Then and there. Not so many years later. I think there should be a time. I don't know. I think it's crazy. What do you think, Norm?
If you did something wrong, all right, especially to somebody, people don't forget, and if they don't forget, there should be no statute of limitations. If that person brings it up. But you have to ask yourself, why now? Why now? So that right there liquidates the cause. And I do have to say something. We have a president that's touting paying student loans. So that means kids are going to say, hey, I don't have to pay for that. I'm going to go to college. All right. Do you want to know what the rate of success is? This is interesting. Before you start to think we'll have college paid for, I don't like the idea of paying for some idiot that I'm never going to meet that's going to get a better job than me, that I'm going to have to pay them for some whatever service is. And I just don't like that idea. If somebody really wants a degree, they're going to pay for it. I'm sorry, everyone's been paying their student loans except the people that have their hand out wanting me as a working person, or you guys as retirees, to pay these taxes for them. And ask me this question, do you really think you're going to get a quality student? No, you're going to get somebody that's going to be taking up a seat. My opinion, AC3 GD.
No. Some of these students, not at the university, because I've had students that say, that point to me and say, anybody that gets less than me, I'm gonna fail them. And they got what they call tenure. There was one professor. He said the back of the bus, Fred Bosch, back of the bus. He was he had tenure and a lot of awards. So you can't fire him. So they ain't gonna let you, when you go high up in education. They ain't gonna let you walk. Especially these colleges up here in I didn't go to school in New England. I couldn't afford to. Look, I couldn't get into Harvard or MIT or nothing like that. I never had those kind of grades. But I'm just trying to tell you, listen, more power to the students that do have those grades. You gotta pass those. No. Especially these medical schools and stuff. If you get sick, this is the place to get sick, New England.
AF2 golf. Now I'm going to change the subject to people that their arts of their crafts, where some people take pride in their work and what they do. Sorry about changing the subject, but I took both vehicles for years to a mechanic that's over in Verona, 5 minutes from here. He's been there for years, and when I trust someone, I say bumper to bumper when I bring it in. So if it's there for an oil change, bumper to bumper. And that means check hoses, belts, anything, brakes. You find anything wrong with this vehicle, no need to call me, because a lot of times they'll call people to get the okay. And if you're out, then they don't get okay. It sits there overnight till the next day. I say, you don't need to call me. I trust you. I've been coming here bumper to bumper. What it needs, just do. And for years, he's been good with me, the guy. Now he wanted to retire. So a year ago, he said, that's it, I'm going to retire. He's renting it. He rented it to a younger fella. He said, he's real good. The guy's real good and everything. So that's fine. So I says, I don't know if you know me, but with him, he says, yeah, I know, bumper to bumper. He told me about you. He says, yep, not a problem. I says, you don't need to call me. So I brought it in there. And I brought it in for oil change also. I said, the air condition is not blowing through the vents. You hear it go on, but I'm not getting any cold air. So I pick it up at the end of the day. He said, it's all fixed. And it was like $400. I don't care what the price is, as long as they fix it, right? So I gave him the $400, and I didn't use it for 2 weeks. It's sitting in the drive. Went to use it. It was hot out. I threw it on. Air came on. Beautiful. I said, nice. Came on for like 15 minutes. Then the blower stopped. You hear the blower, but it's not blowing through the vents. Then all of a sudden, 10 minutes later, whoosh, it's coming back through the vent. What the hell is this? So I called him. I said, hey, I just went to use the van. I said, and that thing is, it blows through the vents cold, then all of a sudden it stops. There's nothing coming through the vents. He said, that's a pain in the ass to get to. He said, I had to stick something way up behind that dash and try to, I don't know what it was explaining how he did it. He says, so it works, then it might not, and then it'll work. And I figure, what? Are you kidding me? I says, that's it. I told my wife, that's it. I'm done with him. I'll never go there again. It's because he said, if I had to do it the right way, it would have cost a lot of money. I'd have to rip the whole damn. So what are you telling me for? Rip the whole damn dash out. I am the type person, when I tell you to do something, I'm paying for it. There's not a problem. And knowing that, he should have ripped that dash out, fixed it right, and gave it to me. I don't care if he said $1,500. It's done. It's working here. Good. Thank you. And I'd walk out. Not that I want to pay that. I don't think it should cost that much. But whatever the bill is, I'm not going to argue the point, because I always say, just do it. Don't call me. And for him not doing that and fixing it half-ass, I don't go there no more. Oh, I got to answer this. It's Norm, KF2GG.
K1HRD. Richie ZUR, are you still there? I'll take that as a no.
What's up, Bob? KC1 Element.
Hey, good evening,
I'm
Jim.
listening.
How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I just was scanning around. I heard you in there. How are you?
No longer. Maybe not, but maybe you could. So you'll have to see what makes most sense for you, I think. And good and everything there. Sounds good. And Marshall.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, well, you were 15 over, then you dropped to nothing, and you're back to 15 over.
I'm just going to say it was a glitch.
Yeah, it's probably the band, band's not really in good shape tonight. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of people out here. The two Richies and Chris and Norm and I don't even know the guy's name, RYO, and I don't know. Everybody seems to have vanished.
Right here. I'm listening the whole time. I'm just doing things on the side. KC2ZUR.
Yeah, I actually called for you, Rich. You still using the Hermes?
Bob, I'm definitely using the Hermes. I love it. I got both. I got the Anon. I got the Hermes. I can't tell you the difference other than diversity, which I haven't used it because I don't have the second antenna up. But to me, the receive is the same, and nobody can tell the difference on the transmit.
Oh, really? You got the Anon too, right? Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I ordered a Hermes. I don't know how long it takes to get here, but it's been almost 2 weeks, and it still says processing on the website. Dying to get my hands on the thing. Did you put the Hermes Lite Plus board in it, or is it? Or you don't have the mic and the headphone jacks?
No, I didn't put the Lite Plus board in. It's an audio board, and it's an IO out board for the to control, like the hard rock amp and certain other amplifiers But I would not recommend the audio board. It bypasses the VAC. If you're going to use it per, like a mobile POTA station, I guess, I don't know, you still need a computer. And you're going to send the audio out the Ethernet cable anyway, and you're going to send it back. It's got to still go through the computer. I don't see what the point is, and I'd rather just use the audio interface in the PC, to be honest, and process the audio the way I want it. Rather than use his DAC, I'd rather buy an interface with the DAC that I want. So, but if you do get it with the I/O board, it has a Pico processor on it, and it does the same thing. It has the RF3 tap on there for the pure signal, and it has the DB9 connector, Pico processor, and there's also a USB, a mini USB, what is it? Not the C, but the other one, connection on there. I don't even know what that's for. So, I did get the I/O boards. I'm not using them. I still using the pigtail for the pure signal RF3. Yeah, no, love them. I love them. It's so if you do it, and probably they sold out. So you gotta wait for them to manufacture the next batch. I'm surprised it's not on the site. They didn't put it on the site. Letting you know that they're sold out and you're getting the next batch. That's usually what happens during processing, unless for some reason it's some strange Chinese holiday.
Yeah, the last, warning, I guess, on the site about delayed processing was for January. There's nothing that's been updated. I have a radio, so it's not really a big deal, but I'm dying to get it here. I'm dying to play with the CFC tools and see what I can make it sound like. And I don't know, just experiment, I do want to, I run rack gear, so that's why I want that in-out board, is I want to be able to plug the rack gear directly into the radio. My question was going to be does it actually have a mic gain then if you have the mic input, or is the gain just set by whatever the output of the rack gear is?
Well, I'm not using the audio board from, I think it's W2, the guy Bob. I'm not using his. But with the HL2 release patch, the mic gain slider on the Thetis works. Okay, but the mic boost don't, the line in don't, that I know of, but mic slider on the Thetis GUI works. And with the patch, and the patch corrects the meters of the it's Reed Campbell, MI0BOT. He makes an HL2 database and some settings, and it'll redo the planning. But you have to. It's a release folder, not official install, but it will be the same. And you just gotta copy and paste the application exe on the desktop. Create shortcut. But you do need to install the original version, and not that it needs anything from the original version. You just need to create the Open HPSDR folder with the skins and the meters, I believe. That's the only two folders you'll need, but it will do a self-install on its own. It'll do the planning and all that once you start it up, and that's it.
Yeah, Roger, I read those links. They were on that Hermes Lite 2 site, that I had to install the Thetis and then install the other one into a folder of my choice and then use that executable file. Yeah, I read all that stuff. Yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. If it works out, seems like everybody loves them that has them. So if it works out, I'll be selling the Flex. Maybe even this amplifier, because I'm getting one of those Mercury IIIs. My amp is in production finally. Took 13 months to get down the list, but they finally got to me.
Well, that's what I'm using now. I'm using the Mercury IIIs, no QRP amp in between. I took out the 10 dB pad, put in a 3 dB pad on the input of the amp. 5 watts, 40 meters, brings it to full power. On the dummy load, let's see, 5 watts, 80 meters, about 1100 watts. 160 meters, it's 1,000 and change. With the full output of the Hermes. 20 meters, I believe it's close to 1100. 40 meters, I think it's 11 and change, 1140 on the dummy load. On an antenna with different SWRs, you're going to get different readings, but on the dummy load, that's what you get. 10 meters with the full output of the Hermes. I forgot what it was, 900 and change. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to alter the amplifier, though, because I have other radios, and, one accidental transmission would cost me, and I heard you in there, Jim, there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know, you guys, Richie was keying real quick. Listen, this is the best radio I've ever bought, and by the way, I got my amplifier on. I got a Mercury III amplifier with a Hermes light. And I'm putting 5 watts into it. I'm getting 500 out. How does it sound?
Yeah, it sounds fine. The band keeps changing. Now, do you ever run the other amplifier with it? Do you push the Hermes into the 50 watt and then the 50 watt into the Mercury to get the full power?
No, I never did that. I'm happy with what it's putting out right here. I don't need any more than this. That's what I used to run with my ACOM anyway, 500-600 watts,
You can't do that.
Why can't you?
Here's why. You gotta ask me the question, why?
That's what I just said. Why can't you do that?
Okay. Oh, yeah, I didn't hear you. The reason is you turn the Mercury down to minimal power. With most of the QRP amps, you're already putting out 22 watts. You're already overdriving the Mercury III. So, on some of the bands, the Mercury III don't need more than 9-10 watts. And then on some of the other bands, the most you can really put is about 15-20 watts, like for 10 meters. And you're at full power. And you don't want to run it at 1,200 watts. You want to run it between 800 and 1,000. So running the QRP amp, even with minimal drive from the Hermes, is still going to exceed the 20 watts on the QRP amp.
Oh, yeah, I understand that the Mercury's only, 1,000 watt amp, even though it maxes at 12. I would never run it at max. But I was under the impression that, if you turn the Hermes all the way down, going through the whatever you want to call it, the intermediate amplifier, that, the power would be low enough to drive the Hermes. I mean, the Mercury. Don't mind me, it's my bedtime. But I guess not. So maybe, maybe changing out the pad is probably the better thing to do, although that must void the warranty, I'm sure.
Well, here's the thing. Now, if you're running it into like a tube amplifier that, maybe turning down the Hermes is not going to give it that much power, you could try that. But most of these little QRP amps that are solid state, 0.3 watts exceeds 20 watts on the majority of these QRP intermediate amps.
Yeah, I wonder if I could change something in the intermediate amp to drop that thing from a 50, to a 20 watt amp, rather than mess with the Mercury.
Oh, I'm sure you can. You can change the input, and that's something you can definitely do. Now, I do have another amp that I purchased. It's an unbranded amp, but it's really the Juma 100D, which has different gain settings. It will put out 150 watts, and it will not be clean at that power. The maximum power is between 80 and 90 watts. You don't want to exceed that. You can be lower than AS 80 watts as well, but any more than the 90 watt marks, it kind of goes like into compression, I guess, and it's not clean. But that has 4 different gain level settings, and you could take it down from 3 watts. The QRP amp, I think it's gain 1 through 4. On gain level 1, you can go from 3 watts to 33 watts.
Yeah, which sounds like would be about perfect. You know, if you put about 2 watts into it, you'd probably be doing what? Half the power, and that would be perfect for, say, the upper bands, and then if you turn it down, it'd be perfect for the lower bands. I don't know, we'll see what happens when it all gets here. I don't know how long it's going to take for that amplifier. I ordered one of those Neptunes on the suggestion of Jim there, and that is on its way. So I don't know how long that takes, but it was ordered on, I think, March 4th. And it still shows that it's, Ukraine was the last destination, so I don't know. And again, the Hermes is in processing, and the amp is in production with the Mercury, so should all be here in the next month anyway. Looking forward to getting it all together. K1HRD.
Okay, K1HID, KC2Z. All right, well, good luck. Lots of luck with that. And Jimmy, you're here. You can do the test with your Neptune 50-watt amp, Hermes all the way down to minimal power. When you hit the tune button, what's the power output of the Hercules or whatever that thing is called?
60 dBM's a company. It took me about a month to get this, Bob, this amplifier. It took a while. It was forever. And then once they ship it, it takes a long time to go through customs, so be patient. I can't remember. With this Hermes all the way down, like the minimum, it's like 0. It says 0 on the drive slider. And it's like a half a watt, according to my HP3 CN901. The least I can get out of this amplifier is 20 by 25 watts, I think, is the lowest on 75. Okay, and the highest I've seen on it when I drive it a little more, I forgot when I put like 2 watts into it, is about maybe 55. I run it right on 50 watts. If that helped you, if that helps at all.
Yeah, so it needs to be patted down somehow. I'm sure my friend Bill over there in New Jersey would know how to do that.
See, I'm not monkeying with anything. I like the way the thing works. I'm only putting 500 out on this thing. It runs fine. I had my ACOM excited with this. My ACOM 1000. It works really good. That amplifier loves input. So I used to hit the ACOM with 30 watts, and I got 600 out, roughly, give or take. And that's what I ran that thing at, about 600. You know, that amplifier is a tank. That thing could take a beating. But that's what I ran it at, and it ran perfect.
Yeah, I guess I have a lot to learn. I guess my new subject will be how to turn down the 50-watt amp.
What am I giving you now? Is it come up at all? I don't know. I know the band's changing and all. I'm just wondering the difference it made between 50 and 500 watts.
Well, that transmission, you peaked at about 15 over, and I haven't really been looking at the gauge, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm just curious, because it sounds like I'm starting to get just a little tiny bit of RF coming through my speaker. Real slight on 75 now.
15 here,
yeah,
same thing.
what's his name, Dave, was telling me the other night that I had some RF on my signal, but I'm not going to do anything. I have some different rack gear. I'm going to be adding and subtracting some rack gear here real soon. I have a new piece sitting on the kitchen table, and I have another piece coming in tomorrow. So I'm going to be taking, 3 pieces out and adding 2 more pieces. So I'm going to go from 5 to 4. And we'll see what I can do with those 4 pieces of equipment.
Yeah, yep. I mean, I have no rack gear at all. I had the IH wide stuff on my 7300. I got this thing. I got a $50 Blue Yeti microphone, and another gentleman helped me set up my audio. I kind of wung it when I was setting the radio up, downloading theaters and everything like that. It wasn't that bad at all. Richie helped me. A bunch of guys helped me. Guys are really good about that. The bottom line is, this is an unbelievable radio. I mean, I still can't get over how quiet it is with the NR2, especially if you live in a noisy area and the band's not good. Absolutely amazing radio. It really is.
All right, my question on NR2, is your NR2 settings all factory and you just turn it on, or did you have to go in and make some adjustments?
Nah, I didn't do anything with that. That's the way it came from the factory. I don't even know what the hell it is. I never got into I guess if I left, I right-clicked it, it'll tell you what the settings are, but it works good, so I left it alone.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I do a lot of listening. I have an ICOM 7100 sitting on the desk here, so I don't have to turn the computer and all that on. I don't like the transmit on it. It don't sound that good on transmit, but for the receive, I sandbag a lot of different frequencies, 40 and 80. I sandbag a lot on 3844 on the weekends, because those guys are out there pretty late, and, I live alone. I'll turn it on, I'll go sit in the other room, and I can hear them chit-chatting, I don't know what's going on with my tuner tonight. Seems to keep changing tune here in the middle of the transmission. I don't know if you guys are hearing this thing. It's going nuts right now. But anyway, I have the ICOM, so, if I have to change radios, I can, but I'm hoping the Hermes does it all.
KC1 LMA. Oh yeah, it's you'll like it. What is your noise floor there on an average night? What are you getting on the meter for your noise floor?
I'm usually, S5 to S7. Right now it's right in the middle. It's about an S6, but what I get is I get a lot of bacon frying. I was just texting a buddy of mine, discussing this. I live in a 100 unit development basically, and it's all underground power, and the power runs through all of our properties basically. So the main line, because I'm right off the main road, I'm only the 3rd house in, so the main line that feeds the whole place runs right through my backyard, and my antenna runs parallel with it right over it. So I believe I get a lot of electrical interference, and I get a lot of that bacon sizzling sound on anything below 20 meters, 40, 80, 160 is horrible. But I don't have a 160 antenna, so I guess that don't matter.
Okay, the reason why I asked you that is because that's one of the best features of this radio is the filtering. It has an automatic notch filter on it, and I run the automatic. It's got the automatic gain control's awesome. You just activate it, and it automatically compensates. Especially if you get static crashes, it nulls them right down. You can still hear them, but nothing like my 7300. Now, you're going to notice on that 7000 between I'm comparing my 7300. I also got a couple of 891, a 705 ICOM. It just completely blows them out of the water because I got an S7. It's real taxing to listen to. This thing here, oh my God! Until someone starts talking, I don't even know the radio's on.
Yeah, Roger. The 7100 I don't use. I'm not on that now. That's mainly VHF, UHF, but I listen on it. I just use it for listening. I'm on the Flex right now, the Flex 6300. But if the Hermes works out, the Flex will be up for sale. I don't even know if you guys could hear me because my tuning sent my amp into fault.
I wonder if you got RF in the shack, WZ2P.
Yeah, I might have some. I don't know. I haven't really changed anything, and I never had an RF issue, but all of a sudden, something's not copacetic here.
All right, I just shut off the big amp, and now I'm running 50 watts with the Neptune. That's all I'm running is the Neptune right now.
Yeah, and you were just over S10. You know what I just did? I just put my tuner in manual mode, so it's not gonna change. I noticed the SWR is jumping around a little bit. It's going from 1.11 to 1.28. So, I don't know. Like I said, I put it in manual mode. It's not moving now.
Yeah, that's why I like my Palstar tuner. Man, that thing's rock solid. I got the AT2 KD. I love that tune.
Yeah, that's a manual, right? I got the Palstar AT Auto, and it's never had an issue. So, as I said, I don't know what's changed. I noticed the frequency keeps changing a little bit from 52 to 54 to 53. I don't know. Things change on me, and I don't even know why.
Hey, Jim, it's Rich, WZ2P. Just got on here about 3 minutes ago. How you doing?
Hey, Rich, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, you sounding choice over here, man. I just shut the Mercury off, and I just got my little amp here. Hope you guys can hear me all right. I'm just messing around, experimenting with stuff.
Yeah, when you said you were running 50 watts, you're 20 over to me. I'm running only about 80 watts, so that's it. You're doing good.
So, Jim, how are you going from one amp to the other? You just putting the 50 watt amp in bypass and then using the other amp and then putting the Mercury in bypass and using the 50 watt amp? Is that how you're doing it?
Yeah, well, I got a thing called it's a key line, a DX key line 3, and I got all my inputs. I was keying up. I can key 2 amplifiers with it. It's really cool. I got it from DX Engineering, and it's all RCA actuated, RCA cables, grounded. But yes. All I gotta do is put the, if I ran this little amplifier by accident into the Mercury, it'll shut it right off. It'll kill it. It'll probably give me the middle finger, and it'll go into bypass. But no, I'm on the safe side. I shut the amplifier completely off because I don't trust it 100%. I'm not saying it wouldn't malfunction, but I have to take it out of line because all I run the Mercury with is I just turn the Hermes all the way up, and I get 488 to 500 out of the Mercury 3.
Right, but you still have the coax connected through the 50 amp, through the Mercury. You're just shutting the 50 amp off so it goes into bypass, and then you're, using the Mercury, and vice versa. You shut the Mercury off, turn the 50 watt on, and now you're going through the 50.
100%. Everything on this, everything on the Hermes side is the Mercury. The 60 dBm, which is the Neptune 50 watt.
I think I have a little bit more ways to go. It may be 2 more weeks, maybe 4 more weeks, whatever it is, it's going to be. And because I don't want to ruin my summer, you know. I ride a motorcycle, and I want to make sure my arm's good for riding my motorcycle. KA1CDE.
Okay, KA1CD and the group W2FID. I heard, I
appreciate you bringing me into the net. That was a good time as well. So, good meeting all you guys. I will meet up with you again.
Do that.
But I couldn't pull it out, but we got you one. Back to net.
Awesome, Paul, thank you. This is Kilo Delta 2, Delta Mike Romeo, Jeremy.
CQDX, standing by.
Are you Army? You know, when I walk around, most people think I'm either retired military or retired law enforcement, and it's just to look in.
4, Echo Mike, calling CQDX. All stations outside of the United States. Kilo Zulu 4, Echo Mike, standing.
Dile que salga por ahí. Dile, yo lo que tengo son los 100 batiecitos puestos. Los de...
I confirm that for the log. All right, I'll get you into QRZ, and thanks a lot, Bob. Have a great evening.
Italy, Quebec Whiskey, Norway 6, Romeo, no.
Is that a November 5, Sierra Delta Victor?
Again? Kilo Charlie 3, Kilo Charlie.
Okay, thank you. Something from Japan? Okay, Juliet Echo 1, Charlie Sierra Wiki, 59. Okay, thank you. Japan station for the moment. Japan station, go ahead.
Con una antena de 3 elementos direccional, multibanda a uno. Kilo 2, Oscar Quebec Alpha, Chariot Golf.
Africa 2, Victor Mike United, 59. All right.
get rid of it. Get rid of it. Then you're really in big trouble. Anyway, that's all I have. I'm going to say 73s to everybody. Good to hear you. Steve? Screw eye. Throw the pulley away. Screw eyes. I'll send you a picture of the one I use. And, of course, get it stainless.
Ken, nice to chat with you. Pat, 7-3s. Thank you for the good signal reports, and yeah, we'll touch base with you tomorrow night when you can listen carefully and let me know what you see on your waterfall and stuff up there. I'm just curious to know. So far, so good. As I say, we're running 5 watts now and putting out, let me see, one more time, 820 watts, 820, 5 watts a drive. 7-3, everybody. Steve, give it to you and you throw it around. W2FID. Good evening, all.
Have a good evening, Marshall. Why not?
LD Moss just has the old-fashioned transistors.
Roger that, Bob. Have a good night, man. 7-3.
Yeah, good night, Bob. I'm back. WZ2P. Have a good evening. You still around, Jim?
I get it.
You gotta have fidelity.
Yeah, you guys are the ones with the little RF burns on your fingers after you take a shower.
What's that, Brian?
So we're going to have to mess around on AM and make some adjustments. I know this thing isn't that great on AM. It needs to be, I need to do some EQing and stuff.
Yeah, you have to get your amp back, you know, on AM. If you can run a 100-watt carrier, probably be pretty good, you know. You really need a 100-watt carrier between us on AM unless the band's really good.
Well, one of the other important factors, of course, is you don't get high fidelity without quieting the frequency down, and that happens through power. You have to have power. Of course, it depends on band conditions, too. If the band's in great shape, 100 watts works. It's the guys that run, my favorite is someone running 25 watts on AM, and I tell them I can barely hear them, or I'm not hearing you real well. But because I'm running full boat and they can hear me loud and clear, they think I can. They don't hear a word I say. They just keep talking while I try to pick words out.
Yeah, no, I figured AM out a long time ago. You gotta have at least 100-watt carrier and 450 or 500 watts peak envelope power to even be heard anywhere near good most of the time. And it's even better if you can run 300.
My little Alpha does pretty good on AM.
Yeah, my AL82 will run a 350-watt carrier, alright?
Don't even try it on a transistor amp.
Oh, bull.
Hey, bite your jaw.
You'd be surprised what I pushed through this Tokyo.
Sucker up. N1 BMT, 8 o'clock.
N1FU
KB2X.
FUU.
KB1.
WA1STH.
KD1ZY. Well, to run a 350-watt carrier, you gotta have 1,500 watts of peak envelope power minimum to achieve 100% modulation.
Hey, I'm going to jump around, guys. It's been a long weekend, and I need to go do some cleaning up from Abby. We'll catch everybody tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your weekend from A1US.
Take care, Mikey.
Take it easy, Mikey. Come easy, take it twice.
Yeah, take it easy, Mikey.
Yeah, see you, Mikey. What are you running? You're sounding great, Mikey.
Just the Flex, the FTDX10 and the W2IHR with a PR40.
Sounds good. I like the way it sounds. And, yeah, well, you know, everybody tries to run amps on AM and they don't understand the principles, which Warren just explained, and you cook them up pretty quick.
I got auto-tune, so it kind of calms itself down.
It ain't glowing, it ain't going on AM.
I still like the 35000s.
And don't worry, there's a lot of guys out there.
Well, I've had quite a bit of them.
Out there.
I can heat 3500s up pretty good to point them melt the solder to pins for the filaments. But yeah, if you try to be conservative, this amp will run. I can run 400 watts carrier all day with it, and push it a little harder if I want. But hey, if you want to play, you got to pay. So if you burn up the tubes of the amps, you get another one. Life's short.
That's right. I'm running an Alpha 87A.
It probably work fine on AM. Hey, I had one of those 850s I remember I sent out and had some audio mods done, and it was good on. You can make an 850 good on an AM. You probably can make a 950 SDX good on AM too.
Oh, this thing's killer on AM.
Oh, these SDRs do pretty good on AM these days, don't they?
Yes, if they're set up properly, the Anons and the Flexes can sound as good as any broadcast transmitter out there. It's taking the time and using the right processed audio to do it. And even some of them naked with the decent microphone and the onboard EQ sound pretty damn good. But, again, if you're crazy, a guy once told me you can screw around and get 98%, 95% of the way to full boat, full fidelity audio. And he said, and the other 5% will cost you a fortune and you won't know when you get there.
Yeah, nobody else will hear it.
Get to a certain point, I guess you're good.
All you got to do is key up behind somebody that's on a, an FT10 or something like that. If you key up after them, you can do it easy. You'll sound good on any SDR radio right out of the box.
You know, the 7300 is a decent sounding radio and AM out of the box. And one of the guys took one apart and he's feeding the RF deck directly. It sounds phenomenal.
No kidding. Yeah, I think I tried it when I had a 7300 and I thought it was not half bad. I'm wondering, I think the Yaesu FT710 might be one of those. I don't know if you've heard one on AM yet, but that's a pretty impressive little radio. It sounds, you can tell it's an SDR radio just listening to it on sideband. It's a damn good sounding radio. I wonder if you've heard one of those on AM.
I don't recall. I don't think so. All you need is one of these beautiful FT101s with the correct modifications. It'll sound as good as anything on there.
Oh, I know. I had one. I've modded a few of those. I know you were playing with them, and I may do it again someday. It's a lot of fun.
Hey, I still got the torch that it works on those here, Warren.
Roger.
Yeah, I sold mine to you. The one with the torched board.
Roger. See, I had so many, it's hard for me to remember. Must have had a dozen of them over the years.
I got one kicking around here, needs to be gone through though. 101E.
I got my SDXs here, I like them.
They've finally come down in price. I've seen a few of those for around $1,000.
Yeah, the last one I bought was what was it? $1,200 shipped.
Nice, yeah, that's an awesome radio.
WA1STH, I gotta jump out of here. Great talking to you guys. You may catch me in here, recliner remote, before I head out, Warren. I'll look for you on this frequency. And now I've got this squared away. I have to get all my cameras squared away, and then I have to
Nice to hear you. Have a great
test the remote scenario from the recliner. 7.3s, though. Great talking to you. WA1STH, checking out.
Take care, Steve. Warren, you doubled.
Yeah, it's all right. 7-3, Steve. I'll catch you at some point. You have a good trip.
Good audio, Steve, finally.
Takes a little bit of brain power, and I'm losing that every second of every day.
I hate when that happens.
From your lips to God's ear.
I hate using brain power.
Did you like that picture, Oogie?
Yeah, but that wasn't even close.
That's you in the back seat of a Jeep.
I had a Photoshop like a Tar Heel on the side of the Flintstone mobile.
That's it. You got to throw a radio and a whip up there.
Guys, this was a Porsche Boxster. It was a new car. and the thing was it was like a little shoebox. And I had to go for a ride with Dick he took me up to the dealership so I can pick up a hose for my truck. And believe it or not, my head was totally out of the, above the windshield.
Yeah, you look pretty funny in that thing that day.
You and Dickie were picking up hoses?
Yeah, well, I went to the dealership to pick up a line. I blew a brake line up at Nairfest.
Roger.
That's all right. You can blow wherever you want. We don't mind.
Yeah, thank you.
Excuse me?
Dick Small.
Small Dick.
Yeah, Miss Dick.
Imagine going through school with that name.
Small Dick.
Yeah,
I miss him, man. You could get on the radio any time of day. I don't care if you woke up to take a leak at 4 in the morning and you couldn't get back to sleep. You turn the radio on, you could always find Dick. Up or down 20 or 30 KCs from 3910 testing his audio.
How's my audio?
How you doing?
Where the hell is Archie?
Check. 1, 2, 3, check. But, usually from about 12:30 a.m. to about 5:45 a.m.
I'm thinking Archie probably has company bills drinking the green beer.
Oh, crap. He is Irish, isn't he?
No, I think he's like part Kentucky and West Virginia.
He's half Walmart, half Target.
Banjo music.
No, I'd say Ocean State Job Lot.
He's Episcopalian.
He's pissing somebody off somewhere.
I'm glad you picked up on that.
So I got this new Mercury amplifier. How does it sound?
Is that you, Marshall?
What kind of microphone you got on it?
PR40.
Is it plugged into the wall?
No, Warren. This is a cheap $19, $20 EV Cobalt 5 I bought 15 years ago.
Still sounds good. I was just wondering what kind of mic you had plugged into the amplifier.
It's plugged into the chicken stick, which goes into the amplifier wire.
But I got my RCA jacks plugged in.
No, you're styling. I've heard the people forgetting to plug them in.
There you go, Pete. You got beat up.
God, remember the big thing when the China mics came out? They were $10 a piece.
I think Mac runs one of them.
They're great. I gotta get my preamp hooked up so I can run mine. They're good mics. They're the clone of, I can't remember what they're a clone of, but they're just a little $15 studio mic, man. We AB'd those with everything.
Yeah, Mac bought one because he was listening up here.
Sounds good.
BMT on the
KB2X on the 11.
KB1OG.
N1YXC.
N1FUU. Gary, did you like the ceiling?
Yeah, nice job, buddy. Nice job. Yeah, that's going to be quite a little setup.
You got the ceiling done?
Yeah, I put the studio acoustical panels in.
How did they go up?
By hand.
Two-sided tape.
What do you use?
Two-sided tape.
Really?
Yep. Stick them right to the plywood. Thank you very much.
If you get a hot summer day, are they going to fall down on top of your head?
Nope, this stuff is good to go.
I'm thinking it's gonna drop right on top of that Russian radio.
Yeah, if it starts to fall, I'll let you know. I'll just put the umbrella up, but they ain't going anywhere.
Just put up the dome of silence like on Get Smart.
It's getting there, slowly but surely.
You just building a new shack there, Eric?
Start in the middle and bring them out to the ends.
Pitched a couple of chalk lines, squared it up, Brian, and kept it about the tiles are 12 inches, kept it 11 off the wall, and I cut off a little bit just in case the wall wasn't straight enough. Yeah, building a whole brand new shack. Yep.
Sounds good.
In a Connex box, no less.
And Dot's got the key for the external door.
Uh-huh.
She was in there today. She says, how much is this costing?
Well, between radios and everything, I bet you're up over 20.
There's a double there.
Don't worry about it, make me a sandwich.
Radios and everything.
Eric, you gotta watch out, because you know she's already got a truck loaded up, ready to get you out of there.
Let's hope.
Oh no, once you go into the container, she's just gonna lock the door and ship you overseas.
Yeah, hopefully to Brazil.
Oh!
What is it about Brazil? I hear a lot of Brazil talk.
Eric likes Brazil.
If I told you a Brazilian times, I told you once, don't talk about Brazilian.
He likes the badonkadonk with small breath. Which is okay. I don't have no problem with that at all.
No, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you gotta do the old pencil check. You know what the old pencil check is?
I do.
Alcohol testing.
The alcohol test will get you in trouble.
The pencil check will keep you in line.
The alcohol test never works.
No, you wake up in the morning, it's a totally different picture.
Yeah, your arm's underneath, you gotta chew yours off, you don't wake her up.
They're saying chew your arm to get away, that's right. That's what they call a wolf bag.
I go to bed with a piece of ham and woke up with a roast beef sandwich.
The roast beef sandwich.
How's my audio?
Yeah, you did it.
Does it sound like me?
Yeah, it certainly does.
You guys are freaking my daughter out.
You guys still up there? Yes,
You should have come in here and said, you guys gonna have to move. We got a net coming in here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get out of here.
No, we're not here.
It's funny, Jenny came in, that was my audio, my daughter's next to me, she's like, what the hell?
Green.
Why doesn't she understand?
She's been sitting here punching, I don't know, savings bonds in the computer, and she already heard like 3 audio checks in the last half hour.
Audio?
Bill, how's my audio sound?
Just keep typing, mind your own business.
She says she's gonna beat the crap out of somebody in a minute.
Come on, put 'em up.
Oh, bring it on, little girl.
I'll take it 2 out of 3 fall.
I just lay on the floor.
Bill, what's her name?
Jessica?
Jessica, tell your father to go to an accountant and a lawyer before you try to do it on TurboTax. All this stuff needs to be done because it's not.
Oh my God!
And I wouldn't do nothing until you had a professional lawyer and a professional accountant. You can get yourself in a boatload of trouble.
Okay, Brazilian problem.
We did, but she passed away.
Antenna tuner for it, and the cable for it, the matching antenna tuner and cable, and the mic. Now I kept all three of those things in a backpack for when I used to do portable work. Now I found the backpack, but none of them are in it. So I gotta look around and see if I can find that. Because if I can't find it, then I can't sell that. Anyway, guys, give me a minute.
What is it? An Icon what? A 706?
No.
Coffee.
I usually go to my favorite place is this Cafe Temple over here in Happenard.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that.
It's right in the the roundabout, the one that goes to Kent County.
Oh yeah, that crazy roundabout. I got caught in there a couple of times, yes.
What are you talking on right now, Frank?
I'm on this is one of my first radios. My oldest daughter's 56. I got this when she was about 14 years old, my Lisa. This radio is an ICOM 746, and I'm running about 350 watts.
Yep, I'm very familiar. That was my first HF radio, 746.
Yeah, Captain. I got a 746, a 746 Pro. I got a 756 Pro 2, and I got a 756 Pro 3, and I got a 7100, and I got a 706 Mark 2G.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I had too. The 746 Pro. That's the one I had.
You know what I like about them, Cap? They got 2 meters in them.
Yep, absolutely. That was a nice radio. In fact, I think I sold that to Bob.
Yeah, the goddamn new radios, no more 2 meters. These old radios, they 2 meters and they put out 100 watts on 2 meters. The 746, the 746 Pro, you know. And the last radio I bought was off Ron, God rest his soul, W1TEM. I bought a 706 Mark 2G with an LDG 7000 automatic tuner. Beautiful radio. It's open, wide open. The mod's been done on it.
Nice. Yep. Yeah, I was surprised to hear that he passed.
Yeah,
hey, Frank.
We all miss him. He was a nice guy. Nice and easy to talk to. Paul misses him a lot, PEV, but that's too bad. Yeah, I saw him maybe a couple of months before he passed away, 2.5 months, but I guess his son's gonna get his license and take over all this stuff. He had a lot of receivers, a lot of receivers.
Hey, Frank?
Yep, I think he used to collect Zeniths.
Yeah, go ahead, Al.
It's the ICOM 7200.
Oh, the 7200. Wow, that's an expensive radio, yeah.
I don't even know what it goes for, to be honest with you. I have to look that up even before I sell it. And Cap, I got another JRC for sale, and this JRC is special. It's the one just before the one you had. But the difference between this one and that one is this one goes down to 1 hertz.
I'll keep the one I got. I bought the speaker for it. It's sitting here looking pretty. It looks better than the one that was in your shack.
Well, that's because you bought the speaker for it. JRC's, Frank, are very, very, very good receivers. I don't know of a desktop receiver that's better than the JRC. Cat, the nice thing about this one, it goes down to 1 hertz. So a lot of the shortwave people who like listening to the submarines like this radio because the submarines are below. I think they're like 1 meg or below 1 meg. That's why this receiver is very popular with any of the guys who like listening to the submarines.
Yeah, I don't like receivers. I like transceivers, but a lot of guys collect them, the receivers. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought the speaker for this out. It was a $300 speaker, and it's the worst sounding speaker I got in the shack.
That's why I don't buy speakers. That's why I don't buy speakers that come with the radio. Yeah, they look nice next to the radio, but the chances are they're garbage. The speaker I got with this radio right here, I mean, I would have never had it if it wasn't for the fact that it's part of the power supply. But I'm making I already looked online. They got a upgrade to this speaker. They make not Yaesu, an aftermarket, but they make a real nice aftermarket speaker that fits right in this case. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to upgrade it.
You got one too.
Yeah, the Sound Sweet. Sound Sweet, best speaker on the market. Especially for
I'll be right back.
Sideband and AM broadcast.
Yep.
Good evening, N1MJF.
Well, hello, and hello.
How goes? I heard Frank just ran away for a minute, but I heard you in there. Been just was actually down on 80 meters for a little while, running my little YouTube stream, and before shutting it down, I figured I would come up here, and I heard you guys up here. So that's running. I just sent you a link to it.
Right, John. Yeah, I can't go to 80 meters. Only because I don't have an antenna that could go to 80 meters yet. If I could talk my neighbor into cutting a stupid tree out of my way, then I will, because I got a nice corner of the yard where I could put up a real nice flagpole and run a dipole off it. The only problem is that my neighbor has a tree that overhangs that corner, and I can't get the dipole up. Now, I can cut the branches because they overhang my property, but I got no way of getting up that high to cut the branches.
Well, if you want to launch something up in the tree, I have one of those. Actually, I made a really high-end spud gun antenna launcher. It'll go up as high as you want, 60, 100 feet, even further if you want.
Oh, I got an antenna launcher. That's extremely high-end. You can ask Captain Ron about it. I don't know if you ever met Captain Ron. He's on the air right now. But yeah, I got an antenna launcher. It's an actual gun. It takes a styrofoam dot, and it has the reel of string that attaches to the dot. You slide it down the tube, and it's a CO2 shot, and that thing launches. I mean, it launches. But not only does it launch, the nice thing about it is it's so accurate. It comes with a laser on it. So, I mean, if you want to pick a particular branch that you want to stick that dot through, you could do it with this thing with no problem. No, this tree, one, is my neighbor's. Two, it's not strong enough to support a dipole. That's why I was thinking he'd probably want to get rid of it, because it's just this raggedy tree. That's not very big, but it's just big enough to get in my friggin' way.
Oh, yeah, that's no good. And, yeah, that sounds pretty cool, that antenna launch you have. Sounds like yours is a little more accurate than mine. Mine's more like a mortar. If you're familiar with a stinger, what the guys at the tire shop use, like the portable air tank, the steel air tank for seating beads on tires, that's what I made mine out of. That and a little piece of PVC pipe. It's got a 1.5 inch, or no, 2 inch pneumatic air valve, so it dumps that whole tank instantly.
I made one. Mine shot tennis balls. Yeah, no, I made one just out of shits and giggles because I seen it on YouTube and I said, I gotta make that. But, yeah, no, this one is actually, it's made for electricians, and it's made for, let's say you're in the malls and you gotta shoot a line above a drop ceiling, you know, that's 200 feet across or something like that, and you don't want to disturb the whole malls with everyone underneath and all the racks and all. So you get up above the drop ceiling and poof, you take the shot. You can adjust the strength on this. And then you just pull a stronger string and then you pull the MC across. So, of course, when I seen it at the trade show, I says, oh, the company needs one of these. I don't think the company used it once.
Oh, yeah, those actually, I'm familiar with those, and those are really nice. I just sent you an image of mine. Like I said, mine works more like a mortar, you know, mine will go easy 100 feet. I use not a tennis ball. It's like a tennis ball, but it's smaller, and it's weighed down. I've gotten it well over 100 feet straight up. So, I mean, my launcher just lobs over any tree. I can't, like, pick a branch and aim at it like yours can. So, it looks like we both have different approaches.
Yeah, the biggest problem with mine, and Cap can adjust to that. Cap, I don't know, would you ever, at the field day when we actually used that thing, I think you were, the biggest problem with mine is trying to find the dot, because after you shoot it, it just keeps on going and going and going. But the good thing is that there's a string attached to it, so you usually find the string and go from there. Over to you, Cap. Why and I?
Yeah, that one you got is impressive, Al. I did see that at field day. And I don't know if I ever spoke to the other gentleman. I think your name is Matt. The name here is Ron. Call sign is W1KDA, and we're down here in Warwick, Rhode Island.
Yeah, Ron. You got it right. It's Matt, N1MJF, kind of like MFJ, but a little jumbled. It's MJF vanity call. But I'm in East Greenwich on Division Road. I'm right by Carr's Pond. So, you know, I'm on the West Greenwich side of East Greenwich, we'll say. But you sound good over here. Great signal. Yeah, definitely doing okay. I run a dipole, so and it's set up as a slant antenna, so I'm a little horizontal and I'm a little vertical when it comes to local QSO. So not sure how you copy me. Back over to you, Ron, from N1MJF.
Yeah, N1MJF, W1KDA returning. Yep, you got a fantastic signal. You are you're a solid S9 and great audio. I'm just running a hex beam, and I'm pointed probably pretty much in your direction.
Oh yeah, you're giving me a solid S9 too, and great audio from you. I'm running a 4 kilohertz audio, so if you can widen your filter, my audio will get better. Also, if you got a computer around and you look up my QRZ page, there's a link to a YouTube channel, and on that is a link for a live stream. Currently, we're all live on YouTube on that channel. So, and if you tune in there, you can hear how your audio sounds and even what your signal looks like on my waterfall here. If you tune in tomorrow, you're going to want to go to about the hour-and-a-half point of the video. But if you click now, it'll just bring you right to, it's about 10-second delay or 15-second delay.
Oh, really nice. That's cool. Yeah, I did widen the filter, and you did sound better. Yeah, you got great audio, Matt. Not sure what you're running, but it's doing a heck of a job.
Oh, it's pretty extensive, my setup here. I'm a bit of an audiophile, but just a brief. I run the EV Electro Voice RE320 microphone into an ART voice channel, which is a preamp and compressor with noise gate. And from there, it goes directly into my computer and goes through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different processors virtually. And then it goes directly into my radio, which is a SDR, SunSDR2. And from there, it goes to a Mercury III amplifier and out to the DXCC dipole.
Well, I guess you certainly are into the audio. It sounds great. That's all I can tell you. I'm just running an old Hi-O headset. It's an old one. I don't even know the number, but I do a lot of DXing, so I'm not. If mine doesn't sound great, that's why.
Oh, I do a lot of DXing today. Actually, I worked Jordan today here on 10 meters, and that's why I like all this nice virtual audio, because I'll give you about a few seconds after the warning, but turn your volume down a little bit because I'm about to hit my DX audio profile. How's that for a little bit of audio change? That's all the same processes and effects, all the same equipment, but now this is just my DX audio profile.
Nice, very, very good. Yep, that's got to work good for you.
Well, the goal is to cut through the pileups.
Yep. I'm sure this mic is a bit narrow, but it does work well for DX, so I'm happy.
Yeah, it sounds decent. Better than a lot of the radios and a lot of the stations I hear, that's for sure.
You still with us, Al?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just posting some eagle shots on Facebook, but I'm still here listening.
How much power are you running, Matt?
Let's see. Looks like it's going and bouncing around 500. Yeah, about 500. When I did go to the other profile, that drove it a little bit harder. I think that was probably like, hitting 800-ish.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah, I'm only running 100 here, but like I said, I'm on the H beam, so I'm kind of pointed probably right close to your direction.
Oh yeah, it definitely sounds like it. I actually have struggled to hear some of the stations that run vertical, so definitely great to hear someone else horizontal.
Yeah, I try to get it between Al and Frank and, whoever else is on, but right now, I'd say I'm pretty close to you. In fact, I moved it around, and I think I'm probably right on you.
Yeah, the signal is great. I mean, no problems. I have a very low noise here, only like usually an S2 to S3 noise, and you're consistently S8, S9 without any issues. I have my radio, even though it's a 100-watt radio, I have it set up like deep in the settings to only output about 20, 25 watts. So if I kick my amp off, let's see, now the watt meter tells me, yeah, that's peaking 14 watts now.
Yeah, you drop down to about, let's see, like an S3, S4, but still very readable.
Yeah, and part of the reason why is I also, that my drive is so low out of the radio is the audio that I feed into the radio, I keep very low. I don't go anywhere near ALC. I think my absolute peaks are like -5, -6 dB. So everything's very lightly driven here. Better sound quality that way.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I'm down here in the Apponaug section of Warwick. I'm sure you know where that is.
Yeah, I grew up in Warwick. Here's the good Rhode Islander method of saying, right by the old Ann and Hope.
Yep, not far from where I grew up. I grew up in, they call it Hills Grove, right about across from where Cello's is today on Post Road.
Yep, I spent many a times in my teens going to that old roller skating rink.
Old Shoals, boy, that was a nice place, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know. It was a little bit run down when I was going there.
KB1AWZ back.
Now, in Frank's day, Shoals was probably hitting. Good evening, Frank.
Oh, good evening, Matt. Nice to hear you.
Frank, are you familiar with that old skating rink that used to be in Warwick, Shoals, in front of the airport?
Cap Eagle pictures are up on Facebook.
Roger.
Hey, Al.
Hey, Frank.
Al, I went upstairs, I turned the computer on. Hey, this friggin' phone. That radio's selling right now for $515 on eBay. $515, that's $7,200. And they want the buyer to pay the shipping.
Call from Delano Fresh.
They want the buyer to pay for the shipping. $515.
Now, Frank, is that a bid? Is it up to $515, or is that just asking price?
No, that's the price. Buy it now, $515. It's got no antenna tuner. It puts out 100 watts. I think it's got FM. It don't have no back. What do you call it? The display light don't light up. The push buttons. The screen lights up, but I'm saying the backlight, whatever the hell you call it.
Yeah, that radio, Frank, is designed to be a certain radio. If you look at the specs, all the specs on that radio are military specs. Its build quality for being rugged is pretty good. But that radio is a radio designed for doing portable use, for grabbing and go. $515. So I'll sell mine for $550. With the automatic antenna tuner and the cables. Once I find everything.
Yep.
And Frank, do you remember the old roller skating ring in Warwick? I certainly don't, because I wasn't a Warwick guy.
A little under $1,000. A little under $1,000.
I guess we're doubling. What's a little one of $1,000?
The 7300 ICOM replaced the 7200. And the 7300 ICOM is going for a little under $1,000.
Roger, Roger. Well, over here, the Yaesu 991A replaced the 7200 only because, for no other reason, except it has the built-in antenna tuner. Otherwise, it would have never replaced the 7200 because the 7200 is a much more rugged radio than the 991A is.
No, Al, I think you got that wrong. I think you got that wrong, Al. The 991A replaced the TS2000, I think, because the 7200 that don't have 2 meter 440 in it. The 991 Alpha has 2 meter 440, 6 meter in HF. The 991 Alpha. Now the 7300 ICOM has only HF in 6 meters.
No, Frank, you didn't listen to what I said. I says over here at my house, the 7200 got replaced with the 991A. I didn't say, at my house, I replaced the 7200 with the Yaesu. And only because the Yaesu has the built-in antenna tuner. Otherwise, I'd still be using the 7200 because it's a much more rugged radio for portable use. But that is that. But no, I says at my house I replace one with the other.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody's buying the 991 Alphas. Yeah. Yep. Very good. Very good.
K1WYC.
Alright, listen, I'll be right back. I gotta finish with these pictures. Otherwise, I'm never gonna get them done tonight. Give me a second. I won't whine, well, more than a second, but I'll be back. I won't whine.
K1WYC, come in.
Oh, okay. I just thought, I just woke up. I just come in and say hello, that's all. But I'm here, K1WYC.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Captain Ron was out there. I don't know if he's still out there. You still out there, Captain?
I are here.
Bobby, Captain Ron's out there.
Hey! How are you, Captain? I am well, Bob. How about you?
You doubled a little bit.
I am well, Bob. How about you? Well, not like I used to. Can't walk around without a walker. I got COVID and it knocked my balance right out. So I'm not driving. I'm shut in more or less. When I got to go someplace, my son takes me or my daughter comes and takes me. But most of the time, I'm just stuck here. I only go down the stairs once in the day and come back up. And I'll be 85 next month, so I got to take it easy. Yourself, haven't heard you. How you doing? I'm hanging in there. Hey, we're both still above ground, so that's a good thing. Yep. Well, we're still looking at the green side, Cap. That's for sure. I want to do that for a long time. I don't blame you. Hey, Matt, do you know what the name of that show's skating rink was?
I always just knew it as Shoals.
The original, the name was over the front door, even when it was the skating rink, was the Hills Grove Country Club.
Oh, yeah. See, nobody never called it that in my era, but I do remember, now that you mention it, that being written on it.
Yep. Back in the day, I guess it was a country club. I'm not sure. It's way before my time.
Matt, I don't hear you that loud tonight. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm not running all that much power. A few 100 watts.
Hey guys, I gotta get out of here. I got company. It just came in, so I'll say 73. Good to see you. Good to hear everybody. Frank, Matt, Alan, Bob. We'll catch you guys again now that I know you're here. And right now we'll say 7-3. W1KDA.
Okay, Captain. Nice hearing you. Yeah, drop by more often.
Nice talking to you.
KB1AWZ.
K1W, we still gotta go for that coffee. K1WYC.
We doubled. Have a good night, Captain. We'll talk soon.
7-3, guys. W1KDA.
Yeah, have a great night. 7-3. Good talking to you. N1MJF.
K1WYC.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I had the power down pretty low today. For no real reason. I was just messing around on other bands. But that right there should bring it back up to where it usually is.
Okay, yep. I thought it was my speaker at first for my hearing aids. Bobby, what's new, Bobby?
Nothing much, Frank. Nothing much. The mic work out okay?
Yeah, perfect, Bobby. Your keys in. I didn't test it with anybody, but I mean, I got 3 mics for the same radio, so I think I got enough, Bobby, thanks to you.
3 mics for 1 radio that you don't use. Okay. Makes a lot of sense sometime, right? And my project, I just pushed it aside for now because I got too many other things I got to fix over here for my son.
Roger. Let me see if Steve's out there. N1LEO, you out there, Steve? N1LEO, KB1AWZ. I think he's going back to work tomorrow.
Yeah, because they open the course, don't they?
I don't know. They got to do a lot of cleanup. I don't think they open yet. They got a lot of cleanup to do.
Yeah, that's his livelihood. That's a job. I always want to bang that little ball around.
Roger.
I tried, never was enjoyable.
Oh yeah, Bobby. We used to go to Goddard Park at $1.50 for 9 holes. $1.50. Oh boy, I'm going back in the 70s.
Yeah, I used to go up here at Midville. Up at Midville, it was the Quinn family. Ronnie Quinn ran that one. Bob ran the West Warwick Country Club. The days going by, Frank. Days are going by.
You better believe it. Over to you, Matt. N1MJF, KB1AWZ.
Yeah, I was just scrolling over Ron's QRZ page, reading it. So wasn't really paying much attention to what the conversation was. He had a good story, a lot to read on his page there. So have to send it around again. But I did bring the power up a little bit from where it was. So should be back to normal.
Yeah, that's much better, Matt. Oh boy, I was straining before. Yep. Well, I'm on my vertical anyway.
Yeah, and my antenna is mostly horizontal. So definitely a lot of attenuation.
Roger.
Frank, when's your wife having the knees done?
What's that, Bobby?
I said, when is your wife having the knees done?
Oh, she's waiting for an MRI, Bob. They're going to get authorization, and that Rhode Island Orthopedic, Orthopedic of Rhode Island, whatever it is, with a Holiday Inn at the Crossings. And a beautiful building. Dr. Bradley's going to do it. He's a nice guy, young guy. He did thousands of them. I guess soon as the MRI, whatever they determine, so he wants to see her. Within 7 days, she's going to get notified. Soon as she goes for the MRI, we go back to the doctor, and then he'll give her a date for the surgery.
Okay, my test came out pretty good. At least from what I can read. I haven't heard anything from the doctor yet, so no news, good news, I guess. But I can go on. I can go on to Kent at it's called My Chart, and I could see the test and the results, and everything was okay. The last test and this one looks almost exactly the same, so I guess that's an answer. And we'll just wait for the results, I guess, and see what happens. But it should be okay. K1WYC.
Yeah, that's good, Bobby. Good. Them blood clots, hopefully they're all gone and they don't come back. KB1AWZ.
How did Joe make out?
Joe made out very well, Bobby. Very well. Do you believe they electrocute the cancer cells? The guy's up at Brown University, the head surgeon. Oh, man, what a job. He was going to Dr. Calajuan for the urologist, and he recommended this guy, and Joe went in 6 o'clock in the morning, and he was home by 12:30. So hopefully they got it all. The process, I forgot what the name of it is, but it's actually electrodes. They electrocuted the cancer cells, and the good cells remain there. They don't burn the good cells, only the cancer cells. So he's gonna catheter in them till Wednesday. He's gonna have a catheter in them 3 or 4 days, and then he's gonna go back to the doctor and get some results.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds like when I had Bell's palsy on my face. That's what the treatment was the electric shocks. Okay. And it went away quick because they were, the wonder was doing it. Said, can you feel that? I said, no. Can you feel that? No. He said, I'm almost turning the volt almost up. He said, you don't feel that? I said, oh, I felt it that time. I said, and it ended up that they got it out of the way quick, and it was on my right side of the face, Frank. I used to, you wouldn't understand a word like you're not now, right? But you wouldn't understand a word of what I was saying because I was all squirred.
Well, he had prostate cancer before, and he went for radiation. But from what I gather, they only give you radiation once. No matter how long it takes, you can only get it. It stays in your body a long time. So radiation wouldn't have done them any good this time. So they went with this electric. It's similar to electric shock. The electrodes to destroy the cancer cells.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Modern medicine, Frank. Modern medicine. K1WYC. Alan gone too?
Alan went and posted some pictures on Facebook. He said he'll be back. I guess he took some shots of the Eagles today.
Yep, I'm seeing them pop up on my screen, and holy crap. I gotta ask him what he uses for a lens, because that's a heck of a lens he's got.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, he takes some nice pictures. Him and his wife. They've been to Africa either once or twice, and he took tons of pictures out there.
Yeah, he mentioned, and a few other places. That's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to the eclipse. I got all my special filters and everything set up so I can take photos of the eclipse.
Yeah, when you going, Matt? April 10th?
No, the eclipse is the 8th.
Hey, Matt, we're driving to Vermont. We're going to leave early in the morning, shoot the eclipse right around 2:30, and then drive back.
I'm actually heading up to Roland's place. I'm going to park my camper up at Roland's property there. And he's like center of Maine. I'm going to drive right up to the Canadian border in logging country. I found a nice secluded dam and pond out in logging country. Going to set up there and, take the photos from there.
Roger. Would you be able, because there's certain spots, I know Vermont is like the center. But if you research where you are, it will tell you whether you're going to get 95%, 85%. The area we're going in Vermont, we'll be able to get 100% of the shot. You may be able to get it the same place you're going. What are you shooting it with?
I run a Olympus OM1 camera. They're the Olympus's flagship body. Currently, I'm going to be able to max out at about 600 millimeter. I'd like to get into 1,000, but 600 is as good as I can get. So we'll see what I can get with that. I do have a telescope that I could attach, but that may be a little too much. I may not be able to fit the whole sun in with my telescope. That's my usual thing is astrophotography.
Roger. Yeah, I'm shooting it with I'm bringing 3 lenses, a 1-4, a 500 prime, and a 600 prime. I'll probably start off with the 1-4, then I'll switch to the 5, and when it's completely eclipsed, I'll switch over to the 6. My problem is getting filters. My 600 millimeter is an f4, and it has a very, very wide piece of glass in the front. They don't make a filter for it, so I'm going to have to. They make a filter, but the filter for the lens is a drop-in filter, which drops into the back of the lens. And obviously, if I try to shoot the eclipse using the filter in the back of the lens, I'm going to burn the sensor. So I got to filter the front of the lens, and they don't make a filter that big. So I'm going to order some filtering on Amazon, the screen, and cut it and see what I can't come up with to put it on the front of the lens. And I may do the same with the 500, but I got filtering for the 1-400. No, I think your 600 is going to be more than enough. I wouldn't use the telescope even if you did get it. I don't think the quality is going to be anything like your 600 is going to be. Are you shooting a 600 prime, or is it a zoom?
So the lens itself is a 150 millimeter prime f2.8. My camera uses a dual layer imager, but it's half the size. So my 150 millimeter is actually 300 millimeter to me, and I'll be throwing a doubler on that to get me up to the 600 millimeter.
I gotcha. And you got your filter in already?
Yeah. I just also sent you a link. The Amazon filter paper that you buy by the sheets isn't really that great of quality. So I sent you a link to a known good source for solar film sheets, and they make sheets, from 9" by 12 all the way up to like poster size sheets, so they'll have the right, one that you'll be able to make something. I was actually thinking about just getting some of that myself and just attaching it to the outside of a UV filter just to kind of cheat and, be kind of cheap.
Yeah, well, with me, it's not being cheap. They don't make one for the 600 millimeter. And if they did, it would probably be well over $1,000 just for the filter. The 500, I could buy one. I could get my 500 prime. I could get one for like 300 and change, but I don't know. I may be cheap and use the filter. And the Eagle pictures that you've seen, that was shot with the 500 millimeter PF. If you're familiar with the Nikon lenses, that was a 500 millimeter prime PF. But I have an 800 millimeter prime, a 600 millimeter prime, and a 500 millimeter prime. I like to use prime lenses. And then I got the 1-400 I use mainly for whale watching, and I got the 70-200, but that's used mainly for just like wedding photography and stuff like that. But the one today was done with the 500 millimeter.
Nice, very nice collection of lenses. I'm not that deep into it. I've got too many other hobbies to be that deep into it. I'm running with a couple lenses now on my Olympus, but they are both prime, pro lenses. There's a couple more that I want to get. I definitely want to get a macro lens. I tend to like doing some macro photography. I want to get a tilt shift, even though that's, relatively cheap and more of a novelty lens for some fun surreal photography. But, they make a really nice 400 millimeter prime lens pro for my camera. It's $7,500. As nice as that would be, I can think of better ways of spending it. If I can find one used in the future in really good condition for maybe, $2,000 to $3,000, that I'll dump into it. But I'm not that deep into it, I guess, to be able to spend that much on one lens.
Yeah, well, if you shoot wildlife, it could get expensive. My 600 millimeter lens costs more than my radio, my amplifier, my antenna tuner, and all the other radios. My 600 millimeter lens costs more than my whole shack did.
Oh, that's easily between the 15 to 20 range. I know. I've been into the camera business, but not business, but as an amateur photographer, trying to price out and drool over all of the equipment. That's actually why I chose Olympus over all the other manufacturers of camera, was because they have the micro 4/3 setup, and with that the lenses are considerably smaller, physically sized for their ratings and their focal length and objective sizes compared to Nikon, Canon, and basically all the rest. Panasonic and Olympus really stick to that micro 4/3. So I'm sure there's pros and cons across the board, but for what I do, I'm happy with my camera.
Hey, you kidding me? My wife has a 170 to 600 millimeter Nikon lens that was, I don't know, 1600. And she gets gorgeous pictures, just as good as mine. You got to spend a lot more money for a very little bit more of sharpness and feather detail. But Nikon now, Matt, are making PF lenses that are extremely small and extremely light. They just came out with a 600mm prime that is literally maybe a foot and a half and weighs maybe a pound.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's really nice. As for the where I will be in Maine, I will be dead center of the path. Literally going by the eclipse maps I found, I will be about 150 feet off of dead center. So I'll definitely be in the 100% mark. I'm specifically driving right up to the Maine-Canada border in the middle of logging country. It's just I can't even find any street views, any real info on the area, but I found a pond that's got a dam, and there's like a little dirt road that runs up to it, and the dam looks like, you know, a perfect spot to set up on.
Yeah, that's great. That's that's what we're doing the same thing for the same reason. The only difference between us and you have a camper. We try to book a hotel or bed and breakfast place or a house. There is nothing within 50 miles of this area that is not already booked. So we literally have to leave early in the morning, drive up, shoot it, and drive back. Anyways, I don't want to hold it, and I'm working on an owl picture right now that I'm going to post. So I'm editing that. I'm listening though. I'll jump back in. And why and I?
Hey Al, this is Al. Hey Matt. Hey Al, you sound good.
Hey Al, you got your mic situation straightened out from the other night. Yeah, you sound okay now. But I'll be back. I'm working on the computer. I'm listening, and I'll jump back in there in a little while. And why and I?
Okay, Al. Good to hear you. I think I saw pictures that they got a new linear amplifier too, I believe. Hey Matt, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Hanging in there, I guess, as they will say. Not happy that it is Sunday night. That's all. Not looking forward to starting the work week again.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, your modulation sounds superb tonight, like it always does. Yeah, so we just did a lot of things around the house today and yesterday. Just getting some work done, which is good. Just getting rid of some stuff. And, took it easy for the most part today, which is good. Yeah, it's not always good to start the work week again. Mondays are always a drag.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I got a lot done myself today. Got my electric bike that I built last year, a nice once over, and took it out for its first ride of the year, and no issues with that, and that was pretty fun. So, yeah, I guess that was my big thing that I wanted to get done this weekend.
That's great. How's my signal over there? Am I you okay tonight?
Yeah, solid S8, and my live stream's up, and I just sent you the link to that. If you click it now, it's live. If you watch it tomorrow, you're going to want to bounce ahead to the 2-hour mark.
Okay. I can put my computer on here so I can see it. And, God, the computer's not slow. I'm slow.
Yeah, it's Sunday night. I don't think anyone's moving too fast.
Okay, I see it. So you said I watch it tomorrow, come in about the 2-hour mark, you said?
Yeah, but if you click on it now, it'll just, it's live now. So, but if you watch it like tomorrow or any other day, it's about the 2-hour mark right now.
Okay, let me see if I can hear this. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. That's really great. I need help.
Yeah, it does have, I don't know, somewhere usually between a 10 and 20 second delay, but that's about as live as YouTube can get you.
That's great. That's really, really good. Yeah, it sounds good. I like the way you have it set up here too, which is really good. Yeah, put the 10-meter vertical antenna up higher is making a big difference. I just worked a guy, I just saw him for about a minute or so this afternoon, and I heard a guy from Germany coming in at 5x9. So I'm really happy I did what I did the other day on the roof.
Oh yeah, 10 meters was open good today. When I first turned on the radio, probably 10 or 11 a.m. this morning, the first station I heard was from Jordan, and he was S7 to S9, and he was working pile-ups. I ended up getting him in the log in no time. Switched over to my DX audio and hit him with a kilowatt. First try.
Yeah, I hear a lot of stations coming in from England during the day also. A lot of stations in the afternoon from South America. I think tonight, earlier, I worked a station from St. Croix. So it's good to see 10 meters active again.
Yep. Definitely waking up every day now, the band is. I was actually researching to see if I can make a mono band 10 meter dipole, something with some positive gain. Looking at all different antenna designs for that, but it's looking like it might be a phased array, a Franklin phased array. Dipole array. I may put a 2 or 3, probably 3 element 10 meter phased dipole array in the backyard and see what that does for 10 meters.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's weird though. Talking about antennas, the vertical works good on the TS50 that I'm on right now. So for some reason, I can't get it tuned on my Yaesu FT990. I don't know why that would be. But my Yaesu FT990, the vertical won't tune up on that. Do you have an idea why that would be? I just can't figure that part of it out.
Likely one of the coax jumpers in the mix. Or if you have an antenna switch in between, maybe even a bad contact in the switch, because it doesn't make sense if you are using the internal antenna tuners. Different radios have different ranges that they can tune an antenna, and some of the internal antenna tuners can really only tune like a 3 to 1 down to a 1.5 to 1. They can't really. They don't have a really wide tuning range. So there is a number of reasons why it could be, but the place I would start is coax jumpers.
Yeah, what do you mean by coax jumpers? What do you mean by that?
Like any runs a coax between your radio and an antenna switch, or anything in line.
Right. I actually thought of that the other day. Oh, you know what? So maybe if I took the vertical
Yeah, that's the place. I would eliminate as many things from in between as possible, because I mean, most of the time when I have a problem like that, I find out that somehow one of my coax jumpers just isn't, tuning right.
Yeah. You gonna be around for a few minutes?
Yeah, I'm gonna be here probably another hour.
Okay. Let me just try put the Virgo on the Yazu and see if I can get it tuned up. If I can't, I'm not gonna, jeopardize the Yazu. But just give me a minute or so here to make the switch and see if it makes a difference. Thanks a lot. This is Kilo Alpha 1 Hotel India Radio.
And N1MJF here. Not even sure who's still here.
Matt, I got a phone call from Florida. My daughter's, I don't know, they're doing a three-way phone call or whatever.
Okay, well, give a holler when you're back.
All right, Matt. Nice hearing you. Boy, I got you in good now. I tuned the Twin Peak on the 746, and I got you perfect. And I went from wide to narrow on receive.
Yeah. You definitely need big speakers set up to really appreciate the audio that I'm running now. A speaker inside the radio really isn't going to do it much justice.
I know it, Matt. No, I'm using an ICOM SP21, but that ain't much good. The ICOM external speaker.
No, like any communication speaker, this profile really isn't going to sound that good on. This sounds good if you have like more stereo speakers, like hi-fi speakers, because all the communication stuff is specifically designed to be really mid-range, strong, and nasally. So the audio that I'm running now is more like the FM broadcast or, that type of audio. And that's really meant for more the hi-fi, speaker setup. So, even something with like tweeters and the woofer over like any communication speaker.
Yeah, I had a couple of clear speech, but they didn't work very well. I unloaded them.
No, honestly, if you want to get the best speaker you can get is a studio monitor. And you don't even need two of them because everything on the ham radio is just mono. Just buy one studio monitor speaker with like a 5-inch driver in it. You'll love it. You will love it. Attach it to each, whatever radio. You can hook it up to the headphone jack or the audio out of any radio, and it'll make it sound way better. Studio monitors, they're not really that expensive. I think you can get a PreSonus one, a single 5-inch for about $100. But that's a very hi-fi amplified speaker, not a computer speaker. This is like a studio monitor. They're called.
Yeah, I gotta write that down because my hearing is bad, Matt. Even with hearing aids, I gotta write that down. Yeah, that'll be great for me. As long as I'm mostly on this radio anyway, so very good. Okay, Matt, thank you for the info, and we're still waiting for that thing to come in. I appreciate that, and I'm gonna say 7 3s. Tell Al I heard him, but I was busy, and I don't know where Alan went. I think Bobby signed off, so I'm going to say 7 3s, Matt. And Al, if you could hear me, HIR, have a good night. KB18WZ.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep too.
Okay, Bobby. Yeah, my daughter called from Florida, so they're on the phone.
Yeah, did you get my email?
I don't know. I'm going upstairs now. I'm in the cellar.
Okay, I'm going to bed. Good night. Good night, Alan. Good night, Matt. K1WYC. I'll be QRT.
Good night, Bobby.
Oh, good night, Bob. And Frank, I just sent you a message with a link to the speaker I was mentioning. Have yourself a great night. And N1MJF.
Thank you very much, Matt. 73s all around. KB18WZ going QRT.
See you later, Frank. 73s. Have a good night. Talk to you later on. Matt, I'm listening to you on the Bowels and Wilkins. But it's not what I normally have hooked up in the shack. I hooked it up the other day just because I was playing around and I was listening to some shortwave programs and stuff. But I'm not leaving it here. I'm going to bring it back out where it belongs.
Those are some nice quality speakers. You know what's odd about me? I love the sound of like hi-fi speakers, but I've never actually bought any myself. Instead, every one of my systems right now uses studio monitors, and they all a studio monitor gives you that flat frequency response typically. I just EQ it to my own house sound. But I do have a dream, and that dream is to, when I get my next place that has enough room for a listening room, a proper listening room, the dream has a pair of Infinity RS1Bs in it. And yes, there's newer and better nowadays, but no, I've always wanted a set of RS1Bs.
Yeah, there's newer and better, but I'll tell you what. I got a pair of Macintosh that were made in the 60s, and those things sound just as good as anything out there today.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. There is definitely something to say about quality. In terms of the studio monitors I run relatively cheap studio monitors because I went and listened to a wide range of them. And you don't really hear much of a difference from one brand of studio monitor to the other, given, similar driver sizes. Unlike other brand speakers, like hi-fi speakers, every brand has their own sound. But I've always been a fan of like the old ADS sound, the old, Infinity sound from the 90s. At least, that really crisp high end. I never heard a set of Macintosh in person, so don't know. I know I like the design of their new ones being line arrays. They're little mini line arrays, which is kind of interesting. Line arrays have always piqued my interest the most.
Roger. Yeah, the Bowers and Wilkins, I just heard them once and I absolutely fell in love with them. The tweeters in them are amazing, and they capture everything perfect. They're not designed to be a loud speaker, although if you buy some of their diamond towers, they're unbelievable. But they're designed more to be, crisp and, just clear. But they're also fantastic on the data side, and that's although I like the audio, I'm more into the data.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely went the difficult route because of the active monitors, the studio monitors. In the living room, I have 5 of them ran all around, and of course the runs to the rear take like 30 feet plus of cable, so I had to find a processor that supported balanced XLR, so that the living room TV and everything, my wife can watch TV if I'm here on the, radio running a kilowatt. So it's a little bit more difficult running the low signal cable that long to the speakers having the amplifiers in them, but the end result's pretty good. It's a cheap way to get by amplified speakers with active crossovers and whatnot. And yeah, from there I tune everything through DSP, just like here.
Roger. You know, I'm trying to find, it's amazing that I can't find these things. I'm trying to find my macro folder. Because you were talking about buying a macro lens. I wanted to send you some macro pictures. Because I love doing macro work. Of course, even with the macro work, for me, it's about wildlife. So I can only do the macro work in the summer. But I love doing macro photography. And the nice thing about macro photography is the lenses are not that much money. I mean, you could buy a new, real good macro lens for around $900 a grand, and you could buy a used, real good macro lens for like $300. I mean, so you could get into it fairly cheap. And if you don't want to buy a macro lens, you could buy tubes and put them on, you know, whatever 100 millimeter lens, 50 mil, whatever you want to use, and the tubes work fairly well too. But that's just too much work for me. I'd rather just throw the lens on and go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I like a lot of the features. The new macro lenses, if I get one of the supported ones for my body, it'll do, you know, I can just put it in a focus stack mode on the fly, and it does, you know, focus stack. I mean, I know how to do that manually, but, you know, it will just one click and do it. And combined with the IS, you can even do it without a tripod. I'm pretty impressed with this this new camera body that I got with the new AI processor. It's pretty insane what it can do, even with the bird detection, because it does all. You can pick like all different objects, whether you want like a ship, a car, a dog, or animal, a bird. You know, it pulls it out amazingly fast. With the autofocus.
Yeah, I got a couple of different bodies, but my main body is a Z9. Although my wife is shooting the Z8, and that's a fantastic camera. But I'm shooting the Z9, and that has the stacking in camera, which I never used it. One day I should play with it, because stacking is real nice when you're doing landscape shots too. But that has the stacking in camera, and you can, you know, you can set it up for how many shots it's taken and stuff, and then it will literally take the shots, stack them all for you. And but they still say you're better off doing that in Lightroom. I don't know. I haven't tried it in the camera or Lightroom, because I haven't really did any stacking yet, but that's something I should do for landscape work. I'll be honest with you though, when it comes to macro, those friggin' lenses are so sharp. I mean, there's really no need for stacking, unless you're shooting something, you know, from kind of far away and, you know, kind of big, but then you will probably want to stack. But everything I shoot are like, some of the insets that I shoot you can't see, or you could just about see with the human eye, and there's no need for stacking when you're using a macro lens for that stuff. I do find a need for using a flash though, to eliminate any shadows of anything. I have friends who are like insane with macro shooting. I mean, they have these microscopes that they hook their camera up to, and I mean, they're doing macro shots of bed bugs and you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I like taking pictures of small, like, you know, small things. Actually, you know, up until actually even now, I'm still using telephoto lens for macro. Zoom it in all the way, and you know, just make sure it's about 3 feet away. Get the really, you know, tight depth of field. But I don't know. Sometimes I see the need for the focus stacking, and if your camera, I'm looking at it now online because I'm not really familiar with the Nikon line, so I had to look it up. Nice camera, by the way. Yeah. Price-wise, right on the same page as the Olympus package that I got here, but totally different. They both have kind of highlights in different spots. But yours, if you run that stacking, you'll get the raw images for each photo that it took, and then you'll get the one that's stacked in the camera. So don't be scared to try it. I tried it on my camera, but without a macro lens. And that you know, it's like I said, it spits out each individual. Like if you tell it to take 20, you'll get 20 plus 1.
Roger, I haven't looked at mine yet to play with. Yeah, the one nice thing that I like about Nikon lately, this is a brand new thing that they're doing. That camera it's about 2 years old now, and I already have like 6 upgrades to that camera, and every single upgrade, every single time, it's like you got a brand new camera again. I mean, they've been putting out some stuff like crazy. The eye detection upgrade, they put it out three times already, and every time they put it out, I mean, it is a substantial. Normally, I don't like doing upgrades because there's really not much to them, but with the Z8 and the Z9, Nikon been coming out with upgrades that just like totally changes the whole friggin' camera. It just every time it just makes it so much better. I gotta think eventually they're gonna start charging for these upgrades, but the best thing about it is so far every single one been free.
Oh, that's definitely nice. And I see yours supports the 8K video. If you don't have an 8K monitor and you end up taking any 8K video, you're welcome to come by and check it out here. I have a 8K screen in my living room that I've yet to be able to play any 8K video on.
Roger, I gotta be honest with you. That camera is considered one of the best, or not the best, for video. It used to be the Sony A1, but they say this camera's better. And the sad thing about it, Matt, is I don't do any video. I'm going to start maybe the next time I go to Africa or something. But basically everything I do is still shots. I bought that particular camera for one reason only, the autofocus. The autofocus is extremely fast. And the eye detection for wildlife is insane. I mean, I can lock onto an eye on an eagle that's 300 yards up, and it will just grab that eye instantly. But it has a real good, it's a fantastic video camera for everything I read. I just don't do video. I should start. It's a lot to learn on video if you're going to do it right. So I got to learn a lot. I have a friend, though. I don't know if you know him. Mark Fisher. He's that's all he does is video. He does it for a living. He makes a lot of commercials for YouTube and internet. He does a lot of stuff with drones. I mean, this kid is the best kid I know with drones. He could fly a drone, you know, at 400 miles an hour, and do circles around a park bench. And when I say circles, I mean fly underneath it, do circles like that. He did a video for Roger Rams Park, and it was amazing how fast he flew through things. Under the bridge, inside the carousel, all around underneath court. It's insane the stuff that he could do. But he's real good with video. He's real good with video editing and all the different software and everything. So if I ever do get into it, I'll probably pick his brain. But I don't know if I ever will, to be honest with you. I'm a still shot wildlife and landscape photographer, and I never really got into anything else. Never like really big time. Although I am shooting a wedding coming up, so I guess I'm gonna have to get into that because I'm running out of time. It's coming up fairly quick.
Oh yeah, I have no commercial intentions, and yeah, I know Mark. I know he's big into the China drones. He's a big supporter of the CCP DJI company. Not a big fan of them myself, but I recognize they are quality products. I just don't like the funding behind the company, so won't support them. All my drones I build from ground up, from every wire, everything. I've got them from about 5-inch by, about 5-inch is my smallest size without props, and my biggest is much bigger than what Mark has gained access to. Mine's biggest one is just over 3 feet wide without props. The props for that are 13 to 14 inches. And that'll deadlift about 35 to 40 pounds. Haven't flown it in many years, but I don't know. For some reason, I went on a kick and I just loved building them and setting them up and getting them flyworthy. But then kind of don't really never had many purposes to go out flying them.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. If I buy a drone, which I like to at one point, it's gonna have a heat signature camera on it. I actually want to get some type of binoculars or something like that with a heat signature on it too, because finding wildlife in the woods is extremely hard. Especially an owl perched in a tree. You could be looking right at it and you'll never see it. But if you got a heat signature camera or binoculars or something like that, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I don't know about connecting one of those to any of the DJI copters, or if they're ever going to make one with one, but I could put one on any one of mine except for my smallest. My smallest wouldn't support the weight, but any of the others that I've actually looked at them online. There's quite a few of them now that are for custom, build yourself DIY drones, and yeah, they're just as easy as attaching them and putting it on. Crap, my big one could fly your camera even with probably your largest lens on it without much of a problem. Like I said, my biggest one is just over 3 feet wide, and it has 6 arms and 6 props, not 4. It can lose one completely and still keep flying. 4 props, there's no way to keep flying if you lose, at least not with a payload. Mine could still lift about 30 pounds losing one arm. Yeah, like I said, I was deep into it for a while. I don't even like to think about how much I invested into my big, 3-foot one. That thing's probably got about $4,000 worth of electronics on it, and I only used it a handful of times. It's got over 1 horsepower of if I add up the power from all 6 of the motor, it's like 1.12 horsepower.
Oh yeah, it makes you sick when you think about when you get on a kick about something and you absolutely have to do it, and you know you end up spending a fortune and then you never really use it. I've been there, done that.
Yep, and you know, mine had all the gimbals on it for the cameras, and most of mine I built years ago. Actually, when DJI had their first copter out, that's, you know, when I built, I think, about my last one. So yeah, mine have been sitting for quite a few years now. Still work. You know, I could just throw the batteries on them and, you know, they'll go up. No problem.
Hey, Al, what do you take the picture of the owl today? You take a picture of the owl today, Al?
Roger, that's from today.
Wow. Nice picture. You and your wife are just so talented. The pictures are so clear. Did your wife take a picture of that eagle today, too?
Yeah, also from today.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah, my copters also, every one of them, even my smallest one, uses all ham radio frequencies. I chose not to do like the normal RC frequencies. So, like, my controls are on 433 megahertz.
Well, that's nice. So, in other words, they can't knock them out of the sky because they don't know where they are to begin with.
Because I'm using the ham radio transmitters, actually, if someone tried jamming mine, they've now introduced something else, because jamming an amateur radio station is not legal under the Part 97 guidelines. Mine don't operate RF-wise under Part 15, so my device doesn't have to accept interference. As is all the Part 15 ones, even all of Mark's. And I'm not trying to bash his. He is awesome. He way better than, especially on the photography and piloting end than I am. But I'm more bashing the DJI and just like the common everyday the copters that you can buy pre-built. They all operate under Part 15 FCC, which says that those things cannot cause interference to any licensed operation, but have to accept any interference from any licensed station. My copters are all operated under Part 97 ham radio, which says that, jamming is no good, and I'm allowed to create interference to other people's Part 15 stuff.
Roger. Yeah, most of the jamming's being done by the federal government, though. Not all. There's some airports and stuff like that are jamming. Yeah, that's cool. I seen a lot of guys do that. That's real cool. I never got into that. But maybe one day we'll work together on a drone with a heat sink camera on it and see what we can't find floating in the woods. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Come on, Wine.
All right, yeah, I got to run away for a quick minute myself. Gonna go have a quick smoke break. And when MJF. I'm back, and with MJF.
And when I found some of my earlier macro shots, but boy, I don't know where my file is of all my recent stuff.
Well, I on Facebook sent you a message with a couple photos in it, a handful of them anyway. I've only been into it for a few years. I was into it long ago, but was out of it for decades, and then jumped back into it a few years ago. Don't even go out that often. I should go out more often. But now that I got the electric bike built last year, you know, be doing more venturing out, you know, between that and the camper. Especially if I can get into some nights spent in like Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, somewhere with nice dark skies. One of the albums I sent you of the stars, those were all taken from my backyard here in East Greenwich. None of that you could see with your eye. Those are all time exposures, of course. And not even using that much magnification. Those were all taken. I've yet to take any photos really with the telescope attached. I just got the adapters to attach it, but I haven't really messed with it yet.
I like the one with the disc code. I like the one with the disc code in the picture. Is that a preamp you got mounted underneath the disc code?
Yeah, so that's actually a number of things in that box. That's just a little project box. I shoot power up through the coax, so that in that box is a bias T. There's a FM broadcast notch filter in it. There's a LNA. There's a static protection, and there's an RF limiter, a pin diode RF limiter. And then that comes in the house, hits another LNA before it hits a divider and goes to a bunch of SDRs and my living room TV. That's my TV antenna too.
Yeah, I did that at one time. I had it this cone as a TV antenna, only because they work very well. I'm looking at some of your pictures. You're in the landscape. That's nice. Yeah, I did that at one time. I had a preamp on one of my disc cones, but that did not work very well because all it did was bring in the static charges from strikes, and it happened a lot. So I ended up getting rid of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly right. When you put an amplifier up there, you want to use these RF limiters before the preamp, between the antenna and the preamp, and that'll filter out any static charges. Basically, any signal that goes too high, the diode starts to conduct and it grounds it, which, you know, on the receiving end means that you get silence, but it's better than your preamp popping. Let's see. I just found the photos from when I put that box together. Like I said, there's a number of things in that box. I just sent you a photo now showing you like kind of all the items that I stuffed in the box.
Roger, do you do any kind of scanner listening? I'm into that a little bit. I got out of it when they went digital, but I got back into it. And Al, if you're still out there, I don't know if you are. How about you? Do you do any kind of scanner listening?
I do have a scanner set up here, and it even has a live stream. It's an SDS200 unit, and it does. It's got all the digital and analog stuff programmed in all around the whole state.
Yeah, I got an SDS 200 downstairs. I got a couple of home patrols, but I got a Motorola HT that has a lot of frequencies programmed in it. But my favorite one is the oh, you got a lot of stuff in here. Wow. My favorite one is the G4. I don't know if you're familiar with the G4 pages, but man, that thing blows any scanner away by far. They're first of all, they don't scan, so they're super fast. I mean, it will pick stuff up 10 times quicker than your scanner will. The only problem with them is because they're not a scanner, you can't, well, you can. I shouldn't say you can't, because you can. But they're much better listening to, like, the South Zone or the North Zone, listening to one zone at a time. But they're just phenomenal. The receive on them, the speed of them, they're just phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I remember looking at those when I was getting mine. The SDS200 is good enough for me, and I like that it supports every digital mode out there. I mean, you can even flash new ones into it and everything else. Actually, they just came out with the new Spectrum Analyzer waterfall mode, and I was able to flash that into it. Definitely nice little units.
They came out with a waterfall?
Yeah, there's a new flash you can do, and it has a waterfall mode so that you can monitor like a really wide spectrum and try to find things.
Oh my God, I did not know that. I'll have to bring my unit over to your house one day and have you flash it for me, because I don't like doing that stuff myself. I'm not when it comes to computers, I'm not very good. Did you build, I know you built the box, but you didn't make the coax jumpers, did you? You gotta buy those.
Yeah, I buy those jumpers by bulk with the nice quality RG coax. They're cheap enough. I do have the crimpers and everything to make those, but those are a little rough. I make all the bigger stuff. I don't know. I think every radio now I have, mobile and home, every piece of coax is RG. I like the double shielding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, great for keeping RF out and in. Matt, I just tagged you some photos, some macro photos.
All right, just refreshing my page. I don't see them yet, but I'm sure they'll pop up. That dice cone that I have is a off-the-shelf dice cone. I added the vertical part to the top and that's a tuned vertical element for 1090 megahertz for flight tracking. If you ever do set up like a dice cone outside, let me know. I'll let you in on some tricks and tips that I found, because that was a long adventure that went over a couple months, and it was, you know, from loss of sensitivity to you know, basically it going deaf, and then just like you said, static zapping the LNA. So that was a learning process, but it's been up now for 2 years and never misses a beat. It's not even that high up in the air either. I want to say it's probably about 20 feet up off the ground, and it hears on, you know, for scanner wise all over the state. There's not many places in the state I can't hear with it. As for the TV antenna, which keep in mind is even an impedance mismatch there, because one, you know, the divider that I run is 4-channel divider. Those are all 50 ohm and the TV 75 ohm, so I can get TV channels all the way out, none from New York, but just before on the Connecticut line, I can get the Western Connecticut, and I can get up to the Central Mass channels. I want to say I can get like 40 or 50 of them now, off the dice cone. But like I said, it was a long learning curve. The main thing was blocking out the FM broadcast and AM broadcast bands, because if you don't filter those out, they're going to make your LNA deaf, and it brings your sensitivity way down. Then you lose everything through your coax that you thought your amplifier was going to save, but yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't run amps on the antennas for that one reason. I got a disc cone up in the garage. My problem over here, most of the stuff I listen to is all on the 800 megahertz. Some stuff VHF, UHF. The airport, I mean, I pick up with no problem. But my problem is where I am. I'm in a hole. I'm in a deep hole. And I cannot get Providence. I cannot get Providence County, or I should say Providence, no matter what. I mean, I went on board a 800 megahertz antenna with 7 dB a gain, nothing. I bought a beam with like 12 dB a gain. I actually think I had more than that. I may have 14 dB a gain. And pointed it right at Providence, nothing. Unless I could get the antenna up high enough to get over the hill that I'm at, I can't get squat.
Well, I sent you a link to my scanner. That's a direct link that goes directly to it. No third-party services, nothing in between. So not much delay. You can save that link, use it. It's up all the time. I mean, I guess the thing does lock up now and then, so I got to power cycle it about once a month. But for the most part, that link will always get you into it.
Oh, that's cool. Because I have no way of listening to Providence downstairs. Upstairs, on radio reference, there is one scanner that is transmitting Providence, but only one. It's amazing. Out of all the scanners, not radio reference. What's that? I forget the name of the. Oh shit! I can't remember the name. I gotta get my phone to look. But they must have like 30 different scanners in Rhode Island that are up on that site running. And out of the 30, there's only one broadcasting Providence. So, but I get it. So that works.
Yeah. I'm not sure why. I mean, also, if you go through like any of those broadcast services, you're not supposed to put in any of the tactical channels. There's a number of things that you're not allowed to run through those services. Mine, I do not broadcast. It's basically just me and, a small handful of people that it's, I've handed it out to. I'm not exactly broadcasting it per se. And that's my primary method of listening to it. Even if I am in the room as my scanner, I'll usually still bring it up on the computer. It's easier.
Roger. Yeah, well, most of the stuff that the tactical channels, most of them are all scrambled anyways. And trying to get the keys to those things are impossible. Believe me, I tried. But yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, and even if you have the keys, having the keys isn't really helpful. No scanner can actually do encrypted, and if you did buy yourself a Motorola and had someone inject the key into it, it's going to pair with the system and it's going to show up on their screen, and they're just going to brick your radio instantly. That's just kind of how the P25 stuff works.
But no, there's a way around that, Matt. I got a couple more rollers over here right now that when you turn them on, they do not transmit back to the sites. And I know that for a fact because I had tested it out with Gil. If you know who Gil is, he runs the whole Riscon site. I do not know how to do it. I have some friends who know how to do it, though, and they did it for me. And what you do is you actually trick the radio into thinking it's on analog, and it does not send the signal out. There's definitely a way of doing that. There's 4 or 5 people in the state that know how to do it, and out of the 4 or 5 people I know of in the state, 3 of them are hams.
Oh, no, I know how to do that, but that won't work for encrypted just because of the way the encrypted works. That's really that's why I mentioned even if you have the key for the encryption, you can't, it won't work if your radio is set up like that. It actually, as far as I understand it, when you implement the encryption on the trunk system, it has to have the bidirectional.
Yeah, well, they're all supposed to have the bidirectional on the trunk system. And if you just set it up the normal way, it's going to have the bidirectional. There's no way around it. But I believe even with the encryption, you could trick the radio and they're not doing it. According to some of the people that I talked to, because I know one person who has the keys, he has all the keys, and they did it just to see if it could be done, because they wanted to know if it could be done, and according to them, it was able to be done because they did it and turned it on and they could not see it.
Huh. I'll have to talk to a friend of mine. A friend of mine is quite OCD about his Motorola's.
Yeah, well, this guy, when I first showed him my HT, he was up in arms about it, because he didn't know it could be done, I'll go into more detail with you later. I can't hold the radio. But he was up in arms about it because he wasn't aware that could be done at all. So once he found out that could be done, he wanted to find out if it could be done with the encryption. So he did it himself, and he has the capability of looking at the board to see if it comes up or not. And he once he learned what the other people were doing, he took what they were doing and inserted a encryption key into it, and it did not come up.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty simple. You actually just set the transmit frequency to something way out of band. At least that's another way of doing it. And then the radio, when it tries to transmit, it gets confused, it won't, and it just goes with it.
Oh yeah, well what they're doing is they're using, they're inserting two frequencies, one on P25 and one on VHF. I was shown how it's done. I don't remember exactly, but what it's doing is the radio is receiving the P25, but it thinks it's receiving a VHF signal, not a digital signal, and does not turn around and retransmit it back out.
Oh, okay, so there just might be multiple ways of getting the same thing done. And also, I think different models may be different as well. I have a XTS and an XTL 2500, I believe they are. Oh no, it's been a long time. They're the now less desirable ones, but both are the mobile one I have is the VHF 110 watt, I think it is.
Roger. It's amazing because that's why I like DMR, and that's why I can't believe more people did not go DMR with repeaters. Although Gil and Lee, and I'm probably going to get involved in it. We're talking about putting up a P25 repeater up on, it would be, we like for it to be UHF. We really like for it to be VHF, but we don't know if we can get the frequency pairs, so it's probably going to be UHF. And it may be located right in Coventry. That's coming up in the works.
Nice, very nice. But yeah, I got a little distracted by the photos you sent. Awesome photos, as they all are. I tend to really like your work there. Hopefully, I can capture some photos that are on the same level of some of those.
Yeah, sure you can. Maybe one day we'll go out shooting together. I seen some waterfalls that you took before my leg incident. I started doing waterfalls. In New England. I have the book of all the waterfalls in New England, and my game plan was to photograph every waterfall in New England, but that didn't work out too well because my leg got shot, and now I only have about literally 5% of my knee, the muscles that support my knee. It's only at about 5%. So if I bend my knee too much, it just completely collapses. So I'm unable to hike in to where a lot of these waterfalls are. Some of them, don't get me wrong, some of them you can shoot right off the road, and I could give you a bunch of locations that that are literally an hour drive, an hour and a half drive to these waterfalls. Some of the ones you're going to see, I'm going to send you a picture, are hour and a half away. And there's some gorgeous falls. But I can't do it anymore. Only because I can't hike in, and sometimes when you hike in, once you get in there, you have to climb, down a ridge or something like that, and right now, I just ain't got I don't have the muscles supporting my knee to do that.
Well, I actually may not be able to go on any of those in a while. I'm planning or looking at going in for a procedure to get something fixed that may restrict me from being able to do any trails. The waterfall that I believe is in that album is from Catskill Falls in New York rather. Took the family out to there. But yeah, I do enjoy the waterfalls. They are nice. And as for wildlife, I think the only thing I have in there is Woody the Woodpecker. My wife and I were walking along and we spotted that, and out of all the birds out there, Woody the Woodpecker is one that I get the most excited about, of course, from the old cartoon. But aside that, owls. But I don't even know how the heck you can find owls, because even if they fly over you, you can't hear them. They're almost like spirits.
You got to have a network. You got to have a network of people. I have a lot of friends who are wildlife photographers, and if it wasn't for everyone network and nobody, everyone would get one or two pictures, and a lot of photographers are like that. A lot of photographers, someone will tell them where something is, but then they won't share it with anyone else because they're scared that the person may get a better shot than them or whatever. I share anything I find with everyone. I'm a big believer in, if you don't have a network, then you ain't gonna get anything yourself. So the bottom line is you gotta have a network, and anytime you want to you get the urge to shoot wildlife, let me know, and I'll let you know what's around at that time and where. Especially the eagles. I'm big on shooting the eagles, so I can show you where the eagles are anytime you want. I just sent you a link of some waterfalls. These were just before I had my surgery. And these falls, there's like 3 different falls. They're all within an hour to an hour and a half away. And of course, and I don't have these pictures, the Stephenstone Ranch or Stephenstone Falls, those are way up in Arcadia. That's a half an hour away if you wanted to photo shoot those.
Yeah, I'll have to check them out. The other half just came in saying she's off to bed, so I may actually have to I would like to pull the plug sometime soon myself and probably do the same. Got to wake up early for the work week, and yeah, I'll be overly anxious this week because Friday I have the doctor's appointment to go get looked at for that upcoming procedure that I'm expecting.
Yeah, go ahead, because to be honest with you, I was supposed to eat supper. What time is it? Oh my God, I was supposed to eat supper about 4 hours ago. And I haven't done it yet, so I'm going to go upstairs and actually grab something to eat. Hey, nice talking to you, man. I'll hear you out there. I'll be back on. I'll be around. 73 for now, and one Y&I. And someday we got to get together and we'll go do some macro or something. 73s and one Y&I.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a plan, for sure. But you have yourself a great night. Good talking, and I'm going to have to dig into these photos and check them out. And 1MJF, going QRT.